Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is another full auto slash semi-auto tip. This time it's about the DPM slash DP-28 series. This is my DPM. This is an original DPM post sample. But the video really isn't about the DPM or the DP-28. What it's about is the magazines. When I was finishing this up and test firing it, I had to load a lot of magazines. And maybe because I'm old or weak or feeble, I find that doing this to load the magazines is extremely tiring on your finger, especially if you're loading more than one or two. And to be truthful, I never got them past about halfway capacity before the tension on my fingers gave out. So what I did was I said, well, I looked into buying the factory loader, or I believe Allegheny Arsenal had a loader they were making. They're not available, and if they are available, they're way more money than I want to pay for them. So what's the solution? So I went on the forums, and I said, well, I saw a lot of guys had leather straps made. So I went to, actually I shouldn't say a lot, one or two guys had it. So I went to a local Amishman, tack guy that does horse tack, and I told him what I wanted, and my original idea was to come down, just put a little leather strap here with about an inch or two of leather to grab and pull. And he looked at it and he came up with an idea that, to be truthful, was way better than mine. And this is what he came up with. Looks like a dog collar, but how it works is this. You loop this part, and we'll show it up in close-up later, this part through the latch, or the thing where your finger goes to move the magazine. Then it goes through like this. It pulls tight. Then you loop this back over and put it in the buckle. Now, why this design? Well, first of all, you can set, by moving this around, you can make this buckle little. You can make this gap large. And the Amishman, as he explained it to me, and he's right, is if you're just grabbing a little piece of leather with one or two fingers, your fingers are going to get tired. Whereas if you stick your whole hand in and use your hand instead of your fingers, you're going to have a lot more strength to load more magazines. And if you're like me and you go to a machine gun shoot and you have to load a ton of magazines, that's a good thing. The other thing about his design, and I found that out when I got it into my gun room, is if you're getting tired or you're having trouble, you can loop this over, say, the handle on a vise and twist it, and then you have basically your third hand. You have a stationary object that you can pull the magazine against, and then you can use your hand to load the magazine, should you not have, because I really find loading DP-28 magazines is really a three-person job. So, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to move in. I'm going to take this off the table, and we're going to try to get a picture of this going on the magazine and how it's used. So let's move on in. All right, we've moved in. Here's the loop that you stick your finger in to pull the magazines. I'm going to hold the magazine in place, show you what I mean. And all that pressure and spring tension is on this little part of your finger. Here's the thing, is he designed it. I'm just going to go to the first loop, and if you want, you can even go through you put a little buckle retainer there, or strap retainer. All right, now I'm gonna have to reach underneath to hold it in place. Is if you watch, all I got is my thumb. I don't have a big ring on my finger from this. Now the key thing is you have to keep pulling around the drum. You don't pull out to the side, you pull around the drum. But if you notice, I just did that. I didn't even have to loop. I had more than enough to hold my hand in, but should I got tired or something, I could put my hand in here. Should I need something bigger, like say I'm strapping it to something, I can just adjust this, take the buckle down closer, and of course you could flip it over, do it the other way if you wanted to. And put your whole hand in, and again, with my whole hand, I have no trouble moving this magazine. Now ideally, I'm going to flip this over so you can't see it. Ideally, you'd have a second person, because what would happen is I would be pulling and a second person would be inserting. Okay, and this would just go around. And if you notice, there is a tendency, and I just did it here, I'm not following the magazine, I'm pulling straight out. You have to follow the magazine, so actually it might be better just to rotate the magazine in place. But either way, however you figure out to do it, this little hand saver is a great piece of kit if you've got to load these magazines. And here's the best part about it. This little piece of leather that he basically custom made for me, you know, he measured the size of the loop so it would fit, and he even put, as you can see, put reinforcing stamps. $10. How can you go wrong? That's your full auto tip for the day, or semi-auto tip for the day. Thanks for coming to the channel.